All right, so I'm Dr. J, and I have Catherine with me, and she has been a godsend to us. She's our most recent graduate of the Pain Free Academy, and she is just happy and willing to share her experience. So, Catherine, do you mind just like introducing yourself, what you do? Just give us a little background on who you are.
Sure. My name is Catherine, and I am a mom to an almost 1 year old. I'm a first time mom. I have a full time job, and I came into the Pain Free Academy. I was experiencing a lot of pain about 4 months. 5 months postpartum, just excruciating back pain, like in between my shoulder blade area. And I went to physical therapy and I couldn't figure out what was going on. And I was just feeling really frustrated. And so one of my friends from elementary school, Yvonne, she kept pointing me towards her husband's videos with Dr. J. And I decided to try it out because, I really wanted to take control and figure out what was going on, what was causing my pain, and how to get rid of it or work with it.
Cool. Thank you so much for sharing. And do you mind just expanding on that a little bit? Like where functionally were you before joining the Pain Free Academy? Were there certain limitations that you had? Just kind of paint us a little bit of a picture of like where you were beforehand.
Mhm. So the pain was so excruciating. It was especially bad in the mornings. It made me feel afraid to pick up my own daughter. And when I would carry her, I wouldn't be able to tolerate that for very long. There was a lot of motions that I couldn't tolerate either, like driving. I had immense shoulder pain and stiffness. There were certain motions that I couldn't do, like even just retracting my neck back,
Mhm.
lifting my arms up was just all very, very painful. And I was just kind of afraid to do anything because I was worried that it would just aggravate the pain.
Yeah, yeah, that totally makes sense. And a lot of times, fear and anxiety and those kind of things, it gets the best of us, and that often heightens the experience of the pain. So I totally get where you're coming from. So let me ask you, like, since joining, I mean, like, date back, and I know it's been a while, so just kind of date back, but what have you achieved since joining the Pain Free Academy, and in what time frame?
Mhm. Um, I actually think that, well, I mean, it started even before I joined. I mean, the calls with you, Dr. J, I think um, h- working on the emotional side of things, the mindset part of it, realizing that I was holding on to a lot of guilt. I think that kind of set it up. Even the first meeting that I had with my coach, Sume, I think that made a significant impact on my mindset and how I handle how I react to this pain that I have, and being able to just kind of take a step back and just really look at, okay, what did I do that day, and really go through it and see if that affected my pain. And in that first day, Sume asked me, he's like, okay, do you really think carrying your daughter causes you to have more pain? And so throughout the day, I just carried my daughter, and I was like, actually, the pain level is the same. And so I think that really changed my mindset, and it allowed me to feel more strong going into the program. So I was trying to be very consistent and motivated to keep up with all of my exercises. And I did notice that within, I forgot, like the first few weeks, I did wake up with less pain, almost no pain. And it did encourage me to keep pushing through with the program. And through the coaching calls, I felt like I was able to apply those principles to level up those exercises, and I feel like it made me stronger. And the benchmark was always, the first time that I did those things. Most of the time, the first time I did those things, either they were really difficult or they didn't feel good. And then, throughout the program, I noticed, oh, wow, this used to be really difficult and now it's pretty easy. So in the coaching calls, I learned, okay, now it's time to add more weight, add more resistance. And then same thing with the mobility. It didn't, I was very stiff. And then now that I feel a little bit more mobile, I can level it up with more resistance. And so, um, what are we at, 12 weeks now. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really strong. I feel like I can do those exercises that I started with, but I can add more weight and variety to make it more challenging. And it's something that I just want to keep up with. I'm feeling good.
Awesome. That's really good to hear. And I guess there's a side question. The thing that I always say is like progress over perfection. And it seems like right now you're in that mindset where progress is the thing that you're always looking for. You're always looking to progress the next thing in
Yeah.
terms of like, your exercises. And then I think beforehand, there was at a point where I think you were just doing the same kind of stagnant exercises. Can you explain a little bit of the difference between there on like what our philosophy is versus like what you tried before?
So what I tried before, it was like three exercises that were prescribed to me to do like every 15 minutes. And it was kind of invasive and it was kind of unrealistic for me. And the way that it was explained to me was, if I don't do these, then I'm going to have back pain for the rest of my life.
Mhm.
Um, and then I would go into a physical therapy place maybe once a week. And I would get a lot of like manual, like massage, back cracking, and stuff like that. And maybe like 30 minutes of like strength training. And I mean, they did try to make it level it up if I told them, this is kind of, I don't really feel anything. But I only got that like once a week, and
Mhm.
then there was no plan for me throughout the rest of the week for how to like, do I do those same things, or am I supposed to figure out what I'm supposed to do? And so it was just, it was hard because I just felt like I didn't have enough guidance. And maybe the way that they explained it to me kind of made me feel like, okay, it's entirely my fault if I don't keep up with these three things, even though they weren't making me feel better. So it didn't work out for me. And so I'm sorry, did you want me to talk about transitioning into the Pain Free Academy too?
If you'd like to.
Yeah, and I think, initially I was hesitant to join this online program just because I had that thought of, well, don't they need to see me in person, and don't I need to like, don't they need to like put their hands on me and like to figure out what's going on? But through those calls with you, Dr. J, before we started, I think we were able to work through that, and I came into it with a really, I think, positive and hopeful mindset. And I mean, even in those evaluations through video, you guys were able to see exactly where I was stiff, or um, we were really able to evaluate like where that pain was kind of coming from and what we could do to make it better. Um, so I think having those video calls with following up with those weekly coaching calls that taught us like the principles of um, each of those exercises, like isometrics and stuff, to make us feel
Mhm.
better. um, I think that it all really helped, because I think part of it was just not understanding why and the how.
Mhm.
But getting that from you guys, I think, was able to motivate me more to keep up with those exercises and like really get down to what's causing the pain and how to make myself feel better as soon as possible.
Love that. Things that
Mhm.
I got out of that were you're a lot more independent now. You understand the why and the how. It's not just providing you the exercises. So, once you're a smarter version of yourself, you make better decisions and you feel less anxious and worried about, when the pain comes back, like what I do. It's just, exactly like how to implement certain things.
Mhm.
And we're not going to give everything away in this interview. So, and I know you know a lot of principles, for yourself. And I guess it leads me into my next question about like what has been your biggest breakthrough? That could be physical, it could be mental, it could be a mixture of both. Just what is your interpretation? What has been your absolute biggest breakthrough in the Pain Free Academy?
Mm, I mean, really, I think it comes down to the mindset. Um, I think before there was a lot of fear of the unknown. There was a lot of frustration of not knowing what to do. And I think going through the coaching calls, going through this program. And like I said, even the first few sessions, like, but even before I joined, and then my first session with Sume, um, I was able to take a step back and really have kind of more of a like a systematic approach to this pain.
Mhm.
Um, and then the principles and then the coaching calls with the support that I got from the coaches as well as like the other people going through the Pain Free Academy. I think that's what helped me to have a strong foundation to like push through, and I feel stronger both mentally and physically. So
Love it. Love it. It's the mental and the physical. Can't leave any of them out of the picture, right? So I love that answer, and you answered that perfectly. Last question for you, Catherine, is what would you say to anyone thinking of joining the Pain Free Academy and joining our team?
I think go for it. If you have any hesitations, just talk to Dr. J, talk to the coaches, watch these videos, even try some of the ones that he has on Instagram first. I think that there's just so much value in this program, and I think it's more than what you would first expect of it. It's not just a physical thing; it's really a like a mental it's mental strengthening too as you go through it, and you have all these supporters. So um yeah, I mean, I mentioned you would think that you need something physical and to go in person, but I got so much more out of this.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Catherine, for sharing your experience. Obviously, this is you did this out of the out of your own heart, and we just hope that your story can inspire others as well. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.